Hi guys, so I want to continue working with the Card Making Magic Decoupage Delight sets that I recently picked up there on Craft Stash. So I'll have them linked in the description box. These will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So yesterday we did this one, or I guess it depends when you saw the video. It's the ironwork, background die, and the polyanthus flowers, and they're just so cute and so sweet. And then again, like I said, I'll put my sentiment in here whenever I'm ready to actually use the card, and it has to go this way because of the way it opens, so I'll set that up. But today I'm going to try out the Trellis 5x7 plates, and then the Hellebore, which is I believe how you pronounce it now, that I've looked into a little bit more. I opened these up before, but they do come in a plastic like this, and then inside I just didn't put them back in here when I showed them to you guys. So again, we have a die that cuts legit 5x7. We have this inlay that you can pair it with that, or you can just inlay this on your card front, or however you want to use that, because it doesn't cut the edge. So if you had your card front, let's see, where's my card front? Okay, I came over here with everything, and now here it is. You can just run this through, or if you're just going to make a separate card front, then attach it, obviously. And that won't cut the very edges. It'll just inlay into the card, and you'll have that cool look. I think today I'm still going to cut it on a separate piece. Having said that, I do have an inlay. I already have some card fronts from, again, a Spellbinders kit. Not Spellbinders, sorry. Crafter's Companion kit, the sub boxes that are really old. And this is one of the very first sub boxes, and it had card fronts. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, this is already 5x7, so maybe I'll just do the inlay part on this, and then we'll put it on the front of our card. So it's going to have a black edge. If you want to cut it down, you can trim it down. The picture they have here looks really awesome, but how big do you think this card is for this to look like this? This is at least an inch all around. So if this is 5x7, that's going to be 7x9, like a 7x9 card. Maybe. It looks bigger than an inch, to be honest. It looks like an inch and a half. So that's a humongous card. Or a picture. That'd be really cute, actually, as a picture, like a mat or something. Anyway, like to make it into a frame more than anything. So anyway, it's going to be really big. So I'm just going with 5x7. I'm not going to do anything too outrageous today. And then we have this guy that you then, when you cut it out, you pop it over, and that's what you see in white here. And I bring it back in white looks really nice, but I'm going to do gold, of course. Something like that. So I have a piece of metallic gold here. I'll just run this through. So, what I'm going to do is put aside that die. I'm going to place this on here, and I'm going to center it because this is all we have. And if I want to trim it down later, I might, you know. I mean, you can do it now if you know that you want this to have a little bit of a white border. Let's try that. It's whatever you want. I just want to make sure I had enough. Also, you can definitely shaker this because the width on the edge is really definitely thick enough that you can put shaker material under it, you know, your foam, and then stick it on there, and then you have a shaker with that piece of acetate. Oh, should I do that now or next time? What's the next time one? I forgot what it looks like, but oh well. Okay, so we're at 5x7, so let's go 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and that's just giving me the smallest amount of edging because I like that. But if you like quarters, then go 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, right? Okay. So that, again, this is only going to cut pieces. It's not going to cut away the very edge. It's so hard to see black on black here. I guess I can place it here just to help me see what I'm doing. And I'm going to center that as nicely as I can. Okay. And I'm going to stick this down, and it doesn't have much edge to stick to, so I'm sticking it to its own paper that's underneath it, right? So I'll run that through. Again, it's not going to cut an edge because we already have the edge cut, and I remove that die. This guy, just run it through, and you're just going to have these little holes cut and this little kind of lattice look. And then these are the flowers, and I think I'm going to do something very similar to this, but I'm going to do both flowers that are facing sideways. And also I'm going to do one at a time because I feel like whenever I did the polyanthus, I did a couple flowers at the same time, and I feel like maybe it got confusing. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is take a moment and pick out the right dies. The reason I went through and picked out the right dies with you guys with the polyanthus is so you can kind of see what we're doing, because obviously you're going to have a bag just like this and you're going to sort through them. Oh, one tip I would say is when you go to put these back away, you know, I always put them back in this bag and I put them back away, but just, you know, once you've already separated them, you know who goes to what, I would definitely just put them in their own bag, and that way next time you already have what needs to be had for that flower, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna say, here are all the pieces. They're stuck on one. That is a nice handy thing, so that's good. So these are for the leaves. I'll probably cut out 2 leaves, even though I may not use both of them because they're pretty big size. But when I do that, I have different colors of green, and it's just gonna be really easy. I like doing like the mid green for the actual leaf base. Actually, I'll turn this over. This has texture on one side. And then this one, the much lighter one for these parts. And then the darkest green I'll save for the little extra bits, which is basically what I did yesterday with the other flower. Okay, so I'll run those through. And then for these guys, so this is obviously the main flower. And then this piece also goes to the main flower. I'm just going to put those to the side so you can kind of see what's going on, those guys. And then he also needs a center, which I believe this center, yeah, it's this one. Goes to the main flower. Oh, cool. And then some of these smaller pieces all get cut at once, which is nice. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. It looks like this one is the one for the main flower. So of course you're going to have to run this through a couple times in different colors. But they're kind of smaller, so it's nice that they're stuck together. For these guys over here, we have like that stuck together. We have this guy. We have this piece. Okay, so let's say it's this side-looking flower, the one with like a little notch in it, okay? You can see it has like a little notch here. We need the piece that looks like this. Goes with that one. Also the little piece that looks like this goes with that one. And then this guy that cuts these pieces goes with that one too. And then both of these little guys go with that side flower. And it's this one, the one that's facing like this. And then this guy is basically all the rest of the pieces. So this one, and, oh, sorry, this one also goes over here. Okay. I'm just leaving it there so you guys can have a good idea. This piece goes over here. Of course, this little scraggly piece goes over here too, which is going to be very cute. It's basically that piece, this piece goes on top, this piece goes on top of that. And then another accent piece goes on top of that. And then if you want to use the little flower center, it tucks in between this and this. So pretty easy on those. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to use the main flower, even though you can see very easy, just a few pieces. I'm going to do these side piece ones. So, I already grabbed some reds in different colors. So different shades of like red and pinks, you know. So for this one, the medium red is what's going to be like the full flower. Okay. And out of the darkest, I'm going to cut this piece. And then we're going to go back to, well, you can go back to a lighter color, whatever you want for these guys, of course. And here they're kind of using just a brighter color, so we can do that. So for this one, for this piece, I'm going to go with a even lighter color. And then I'm going to go back to the darker color for this one. And it depends what you want to do, but I'm going to go back to the darkest color. And then this little yellow guy can be popped in the center, and I'll cut it out of this yellow paper since it's here. Okay, that's the one flower. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come back because I don't want to talk about the second flower yet. I don't want to confuse people. So those are the pieces. Let me do some cutting and I'll be right back. I'm just using my marquee, just rolling things out. Obviously the 5x7 will not fit in a marquee, so the other parts I'm cutting with my Platinum 6. And I like to do that because honestly I can put everything on the Platinum 6, but I rather wear these guys out than put more wear on my plates, right? So that's just kind of how I do things. But I do load it up, and I'm using just a regular size folder right now, but like I'll put this and this in here together and roll it through as many pieces as I can. So I've only rolled through 4 times now, and I have pretty much all my leaves and everything. So I'll be right back. I just need to cut the card bases. Got quite a mess here. These are really cool. I don't know if I would ever do anything with these, but I might, because they look really nice. Oh, no. Well, I would say, I guess you can pair them up with the pieces that fell out of here, but I just didn't care about what happened here. But check it out. If you want to keep those and then match them up, you have the slightest, most awesome. I think I might do that. I'll collect these too. Okay, I'll be right back once everything's cleaned out. Okay, sorry guys. Looks like a little mess right now, but it is what it is. And I can hear Miranda just woke up. Okay, so I have this plate. This plate? It's not a plate. The card base. So what's interesting about this one is when you put this down, and then we cut it a little bit smaller so we have a little bit of that white area, which is really nice. This guy is cut here, but it's pointy here, which, you know, it looks cool. And the point of that is that it's like offset. So again, it's a little more, what's the word? I don't know, just a little more stylized, a little different, because when you think about it, it's like, why would they do that, you know? But that's just how it is. So they could have just cut both sides off. But to me, it adds to the character of what's going on here. Now, this also is another one that if you wanted to pop this up, you have plenty of room here to add dimensional adhesives, you know? You know what, maybe I will. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one down flat completely, and then when I come back, I'll have dimensionals all over the back of the other piece. So I'm just going to put glue on this and just put it down like a regular card topper, and the other one I'm just going to put dimensionals. Okay, I'll be right back. So I just put dimensional where I felt like it. It's not really everywhere. I mean, I can probably put a few more here in the center, but I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to take this guy and line it up, and I hear Miranda. Okay, sorry guys, I've asked her not to yell out for me, because you never know. And she's like, Mom! Okay. I said, just a minute. She said, aw. Okay, so that's it for right now, but I love it. What an interesting look, like, just really cool. I'm so excited to get to this flower, but you know what? It'll have to wait a minute. You know what I'll do in the meantime, though, actually, since we have two of this and it's very easy, I'm just going to take this little guy. And usually what I do is I just look at the picture right quick, and, you know, you can kind of tell, like, if you put out your pieces, the way they kind of do their thing. So, like, if you look at the picture, this one goes here, so I'll just glue that there. And then this one goes here. And it's a little bit artsy. It matches up, but it doesn't match up 100%, so, you know, wherever it is that you feel comfortable placing it, go for it. And then this one goes like here. See what I'm saying? Where it kind of matches up, it echoes what's going on on the edge, but not 100%. So, like, this part does, but maybe those are a little bit different. And then we have these guys, and this little short one goes on here. So again, I'll just glue them down. This one that's a little bit shorter, I believe, goes here. It's longer than this one, but shorter than this one. And this is the longest one. And it goes there. Okay, so I'll glue those down. I'll do it for both leaves in the meantime, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to squeeze in what I need to say here, but there's my little leaf parts. And let's see, this looks awesome already. You know, we'll see how we use them, or if we use them at all. But super pretty, and we can always chop them down too. They don't have to be the whole size. Okay, so for this one, I'll leave the bits here so you can still see which dies it is that make this flower. I'll close up just a little bit. Okay, it was these guys. And again, we're just going to start building it up. So simply take this guy, and then it's about the same in this background area, you know, so you can layer it up pretty easy, which we always appreciate. Where the leaf has a little more artsiness to it, it's going to look great however you set it up. But you have the general idea, right? With this one, you can see that this goes right down. And, I mean, you can leave some sticking up. I did put glue over the whole thing, so I guess I'm just going to lay it down. But if you wanted to, you can just leave it sticking up a little more artsy, you know? Do a little zhuzh with your flowers. I'm not really doing that today. Okay, and then the next piece would be, actually this piece would tuck in here, so I'm not going to glue that down completely yet. I'm going to take this one and just put glue on the back portion of it, and that goes right in there, again following pretty much what's going on in there. And if you want to give it a little zhuzh, you can definitely do that. I'm just sticking that right there, and then this little piece is like an accent on that. And that would go pretty much following that little roundness of it, wherever it is that you want to place it, basically. And then this tucks in. Now, I'm just going to put a little glue there. I'm going to tuck it in here. Just push that down. She has it completely tucked in, but of course you can do whatever you like. There's that little flower. And then these little pieces, I didn't put any glue, so I can just kind of mess with those. And again, I left this kind of open too. A Look at that. And let's see how that looks matched up with like a leaf here. Beautiful. Did they have it paired up on the front? Oh, they have it like this. Something like that too. You know, however it is you want to use it. So that's that one. So since my kids are being super chill right now, this is the other flower, the other sideways looking one. So these are the pieces we need for that one. Okay. And just looking at my little chart, I'm going to do basically the same. Super interesting. They have these two that are very much close in color. It almost looks like it's the same color, but again, yesterday when I did this, we had texture just because of that, you know. But either way, I'm going to do the same thing I did before, and this will be my background flower color. Again, I have like 3 different kinds of light, medium, and dark. So for my medium color is going to be this whole thing. And then from the dark one, even though it looks to me like they use the same color for this one, you know, do whatever you like, I am going to go with the dark for that one. And then for this one, they use the lightest color, so that's this one, the little cherry tomato kind of looking color. And then from there they have this, so this, and this guy. This guy they went dark again, which is a-okay with me, so I'll go with the dark one on that one. And then this one, it's right here, they used it with the dark and the lightest color. So I'll run this one through the lightest color. And then and really you're just wanting this little piece, so if you want to just put it on this piece, you're looking for this little guy in the lightest color. And this guy in the darkest, so I'll run it through both of those. And then the center pieces are so cute, it has a couple different ones, so I just still have some yellow sitting here from earlier and then from yesterday's project. So I'm going to run this through the same orangey yellow I just used, and a lighter yellow like this one. So we'll have 2 different colors for the little center just to accent each other, okay? And then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so just pop that through, and I just need a small one for this yellow, I think. Okay, so these are the pieces we used for this flower. And of course, oh, and this one. We're going to start with the base. And then it looks like we're going to add this guy in. Where did I put my glue? Right there. We're going to pop this guy in. I want to see where the little yellow center comes in. So again, you can always just pop these up if you want. However you like to use that. I do want to see where this is actually going. There we go. It goes kind of up here. You see it leaves that little piece there. What I want to eyeball real closely is, okay, so all that, and then the little yellow center comes in later. Okay, so we have this piece again. You can leave it sticking up a little bit, little fun. Then this piece goes across here, and all I'm doing is looking at the picture, guys, so, you know, hopefully that's what we're supposed to be. So that piece goes there. These little accent pieces actually go in the back, like this one. This goes in the front. This one and that other little piece. So I'm just trying to see where those go. Oh, interesting. Well, oh well, I did what I felt like on this one. So here they're showing, even though in the picture here they're showing the dark piece and this light piece, it should both be dark, I guess, if you want, because look, they're both dark. Sorry, there and there. But I have a dark one and a light one, and I'm going to go with it. So, and actually I still have the other dark piece here somewhere for when I cut it out, you know, because those 2 pieces were on the same die. So I suppose you could use both pieces from the same die, and that's cute too. Let me see, where does that go? Where does that actually go? Yep, in there, in between these guys. I'm going to leave it there since I probably should have stuck this piece down below this one. I do kind of like having the other accent color though. Kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying, the lighter color? I like that, so I'm happy with that. There we go. And then these little guys should go down. I'm not 100% sure where, because this is going to go here basically. So a little bit lower. A little bit more down here. There we go. And then this brighter yellow one, just an accent color. You can make them the same color if you want. And these have the same little bottom. Actually, that looks really cute just like that. But We're supposed to add this last accent piece. And then this one also has a little area that's open in the die, so if you wanted to put a little inking there so it just gives it a little different look, you can definitely do that. For right now, I'm just going to kind of zhuzh this out a little bit this way, just to give a little something. And it lines right up over its little piece there. I'm going to still squish this down a little bit. And that is this flower that I can still kind of curve a little bit like I did the first one. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's really pretty. Okay, let me clean up and then we'll see what we want to do with this card. I mentioned that maybe I would use all the leaves, maybe I won't, but you know what? I think I will. And then right here we can put whatever our sentiment is, of course. Right now I don't know what that is and I want to save this for something special, so I'm not going to put a sentiment on it right now. But I am going to put a little bit of glue, like here, wherever I think this might be touching. Something like that. That'll hold it. And then again, you can give your leaves some zhuzhing, you know, a little texture, a little dimension if you would like. I just kind of left them there. And then I put some dimensionals on this and hopefully it'll touch where I need it to touch. I just pay attention to that part. I was thinking about cutting the back of the little stick off, but there's that. And this one I probably will remove this because we don't really need it. And I'm going to put that about there. You can see it needs a little glue here. And again, do you want to zhuzh your little leaves? I'm just kind of giving them a little bend here and there. Before I really stick them down. Okay. Where is this? Here. A little bit. I think that'll look nice. And if you were trying to keep it within the 5x7 part, of course you do yours a little different. But I think I'll put it right there. Okay. And again, hopefully that's touching something. And that is that, guys. So hopefully that shows you a little. I try to leave the dies there so you can see exactly which dies go to what flower. This, I love this because even though it's, you know, artsy still and it's still a little abstract, obviously you're building up flowers, you can see the flower that it makes. You know, you can definitely see that it's a pretty flower on the camera in real life. I know I've done other reviews where the flower is just like a little out there. It's not quite what you expect. But there's that one and here's this one. And again, you know, they sell these guys separately. And actually, funny enough, when I was looking at the bundle, I think it cost 50 cents less to buy them separately than to buy them in the bundle. I don't know why, but that's how they have it set up there. Either way, I'll have the links for the whole, you know, section of the delightful decoupage, or decoupage delight, sorry. And again, there you can see that they're sold individually, and then they have the bundles, which would be like the ironwork and the polyanthus, the Hellebore, and what's this other one called? Trellis. And then the other set that I will work on very soon here is the foliage and the camellia. But again, they're all separate, and they also have stamps that go along with them. So, alright guys, that was really fun. And they're so fast, honestly. I mean, obviously I talk and I'm showing you guys different things, and that takes some time, but they work up so fast. Really nice. Alright guys, I'll see you at the next one. Yeah, bye now.